Transport Board of Directors Chair Andile Sangqu is currently outlining the work undertaken by the board since it came into office in July this year and initiatives underway to stabilize the organization, which was rocked by resignations of its CFO as well as its CEO and a board member this year. Let's now take you live to that press briefing.
To deliver against the recovery plan. And so the way that it's been set up is to establish a series of operational excellence centers. In the past, these were termed war rooms. We renamed them in the positive, and we will establish further operational excellence centers in various parts of the business, and will empower those centers to have a greater degree of freedom to make key decisions to deliver the volumes and the throughputs as necessary right across the business. So the central part of this focus is on the Transnet executives, their role around overall leadership, allocation of resources, assessment of risk, engagement with key stakeholders, and for many of us that is with the key customers that we support, and then feeding this down into the operating divisions, which you can see on the left-hand side. So the role of the operations divisions is in respect of the information and data sharing. And the chairman has indicated the one version of the truth which is being established across Transnet. That's to improve our information sharing, digitize that information, make it more readily available across the organization in real time. It's also around resource allocation and planning, and that's the principal focus for why we've set up these operational excellence centers, to get collaboration and get across this very complex business with a number of operating divisions. So just by way of an example, in the rail area, as the GC has indicated, we're separating TFR into two operating divisions, the infrastructure manager and the rail operating company. We also have Transnet Engineering, which is right behind the rail operating company in terms of delivering rolling stock. Getting collaboration across those three divisions is core to operating each of the key corridors, making sure that those corridors can deliver the volumes that we've set for them, and feeding back that information to a central focused area in such a way that we can make much more strategic decisions around how do we spend, how do we procure, how do we focus the business more effectively on the volume that we allocate, or the volume that is allocated on each of those key corridors. On the extreme left, we talk about performance compacts, which we will establish with KPIs for each of the operating divisions. They will be for the CEs initially, but they will cascade down into the various components of those operating divisions. On the extreme right, you'll see the role of the Operations Excellence Center at a central level, and as I said, there will be a number of these across the business. We already have war rooms within Saldanha, Mpangeni, Ermelo, at the Port of Durban. So we will integrate these into a more focused Operations Excellence Center initiative. The focus of these will be against discussing performance against plan, identifying problems as they arise across the value chain, and we have already established what we call SWAT teams, or Lean Six Sigma teams, that will be focused on identifying the key challenges, say in a terminal, on a particular part of the line, and then repairing and bringing those areas back into service as rapidly as possible. So that's really the key focus of the operational excellence centers. Last thing to say is we will draw customers into these on a structured basis in such a way that they can also see what is happening around their key product. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. And I think, yeah, closing, that's probably the best point to close at. Collaboration with customers, absolutely critical, and we will work together with them to try and improve to these flows. We've engaged with a number of them over the past few weeks, as well as this week specifically, also a number of them. Very eager to come to the party and very eager to work with us. But I think more than anything, and very critical, every single employee in Transnet, we are at a point where we do not have a choice. We have to make this work, and it's very important that we all, just get our boots on the ground and get into that pieces of equipment and do the best that we can. We, in closing, I think we're clear to deliver a successful recovery. There are various measures, but very specifically, we need to get cash back into the business. There are transactions that we need to deliver on, but also everything must be focused towards generating revenue for this organization. Government support cannot be overemphasized, but more especially to assist us in alleviating these incidents of theft and vandalism that we are experiencing across our network. Yes, there are special work streams that have been set up, but on a daily basis we are challenged with individuals, criminal elements, organized crime, doing their utmost to sabotage and interrupt our business for all sorts of reasons. We have to appeal to the police, crime intelligence, all of these authorities to assist us to put an end to all of this, but more especially as well to the prosecuting authorities. We cannot, with all of the arrests that we have been making in the recent past, be sitting with a situation of only 3 to 4% successful convictions. If we do not improve on that, we are losing the deterrent message that we need to send to would-be criminals. If they come onto our network, it needs to be clear that they will experience the full wrath of the law. And we need to ensure that we get all of the support from government and from the necessary authorities to stop this organized syndicates from continuing to destroy our economy. At the same time, yes, we need to discuss some kind of a reduction in these onerous requirements that we find ourselves under as a state-owned enterprise. Both the Public Finance Management Act and NIP requirements does pose some difficulty for us, and we need to see how best we can move beyond these constraints. And with that, Chair, if that's the recovery plan that we are pleased to present to the media. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Michelle and Andrew. If I could request the Chair to just give us his closing remarks before we take questions.
Thank you very much, Ayanda, and thanks to Andrew, Sangqu and Michelle. I think you have covered everything. Just for me, just some few things just to emphasize. One is that the major piece of work that we are focusing on is that of stabilizing Transnet. And that is our major preoccupation right now. And part of stabilizing that is also to make sure that not only that the company is stabilized, but it is also positioned for growth. So that's the biggest part of what this recovery plan is about. And we believe that the plan that we are presenting here is a very credible plan. And therefore, it is really on this basis that we are appealing for shareholder support, because we believe that with the right capital injection, what has been put there on the board, it's something that we'll be able to achieve. The second part is that we are also busy at the same time as we're doing a turnaround with a policy reform initiative.